Hello, and welcome to the A Quilting Life podcast. I'm Sherri McConnell from A Quilting Life.
And I'm Chelsi from Chelsi Stratton Designs.
And this episode is airing on Monday, July 10th, 2023. We are really excited to be here with you today. I'm going to just start off and mention our sponsor, Cozy Earth. We love Cozy Earth, especially now that the temperatures are heating up in southern Nevada where we live. Those cool, comfortable sheets have been a lifesaver. And I think I mentioned this before, but I did use our code and purchase a second pair so that I can always have a pair on the bed while the other one's being washed. Yes.
My kids want some
Do
now.
they?
Yes, and I am like, no.
Why not?
I know, why not, right? They really love ours. They think that they're super, super soft. So they really, really want some. Ashton especially wants some.
Yeah. The Cozy Earth sheets and products are made from ultra soft viscose from bamboo that is responsibly sourced. And there are constantly new colors and seasonal items available too. So you really need to check out the Cozy Earth website at cozyearth.com. And you can use the code AQuiltingLife for 35% off site-wide.
And if there's a seasonal color that comes and you really want it, get it, because the forest green I decided to wait on, and then it sold out, and it was only during Christmas time.
Right.
I'm like, no.
Yeah. And there are some beautiful spring and summer hues available now too. Okay, so Chelsi has the quilts, so we're going to let her talk about that next.
Yes. So it's finally really warm here. Yeah. We have been so lucky, you guys. The weather has been great. And so I thought, let's bring out some Seashore Drive quilts. I just got Magnolia back from Quilters Hall of Fame.
Oh, right.
And yeah, so it's been gone for a while now. So I thought, I need to put this one out on the ladder.
Yes.
So I brought two Seashore Drive quilts, and the one on the wall is Magnolia. Like I mentioned, it was just in Quilters Hall of Fame, which was really, really cool to see that there. And this is a fat quarter friendly quilt, uses a lot of the SKUs from a bundle. Marion Bott did the quilting on this. She did such a great job. This is actually one of my favorite quilt patterns I've ever designed. And I've seen a lot of people make this one, which is so fun to see. Somebody did at Beach City's Quilt Guild. We shared a picture of it.
Yeah.
The red, white, and blue one.
Yes, it was so beautiful.
Pretty. And I thought to myself, darn, now I need to add that to my list of quilts to make. So Magnolia on the wall, fat quarter friendly. And then Beachfront on the table is one of my favorites because it is charm pack friendly. And lately I am like a charm pack layer cake queen because it's so much less ironing. You know what I'm saying?
Less ironing, less cutting.
Yes, less ironing, less cutting. So you will use some yardages on the 9 patch, but it's so simple. It's just a charm pack. And if there's some that you have been wanting to use, it's just a great pattern that you can find coordinating fabrics to go with for the 9 patches and to make your quilt top. So this one is charm pack friendly and really fun to make. And this is some of my favorite quilting. I don't know if you'll be able to see in the picture. Marion has done this a lot.
I like this pattern of hers.
It's really, really good. It's got some fun designs to it. So those are my quilts today, and kind of reminds me of a breezy summer day.
Yeah.
I love Seashore Drive.
Yeah, Seashore Drive. So much fun.
Don't look at me like that. Well, I know what you're thinking.
Speaking of Seashore Drive, favorite things is shipping.
Yeah.
It is at your shops now, and it is available.
Yes.
Let me just tell you, though, because...
Yeah, we need to talk about this.
I went to order some more for myself, and Moda is out, except for there were only a
Which
few.
Which colorway?
So there was one pink print available on the Moda website, and the 108-inch backings were still available, and I think there were still a few jelly rolls available. But I went to order some other things, and it's gone. So if you like it and you see it at your favorite shop online or in person, buy it, because they are not going to be able to get any more. What they have is what they have. And yeah, get it.
Well, I hope Billy's okay with this. I need to jump ahead just a second on that point because Regal Pines is the sew along I'm doing the end of July in August. I didn't know the exact date. I was going to start in July. But the reason I'm waiting is because I wanted people to be able to get their fabrics.
Right.
So I was waiting for it to ship.
Right.
But knowing that and I will have some kits available. So it's not for juniper berries. There was some confusion there. It's for Regal Pines. We'll pop up a picture right now.
Yeah. And just to clarify, Regal Pines was one of Chelsi's Bountiful Blooms patterns. But when she recolored it in Favorite Things, people just loved it.
Mom
and so
loved it.
I loved it. I made a wall hanging
She did.
with Bountiful Blooms, but I think I might have to make a full size with the Christmas fabric.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that'll be a sew along coming.
Yeah.
But
it's helpful to know that because I'm not going to be able. So what the kits that I'll have available in my shop, Mom said she's going to post it in her Saturday 7 when they're available. But the kits that I will have in my shop is it. I won't be able to get more fabrics.
We won't be able
for
to
it.
order more fabrics.
So I was surprised when you told me that this morning because I thought, oh, maybe if there's a ton of it, but shop owners will have it.
Yeah, there are I've been getting emails from shops that have purchased it, and it's been so fun because some of them are just reaching out and saying, our customers are loving this. We love this fabric. It's so beautiful, and I really appreciate because I know it takes a minute to write an email, so really appreciate that.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So if you see it, buy it because I don't know if the percentages in ordering have changed as a result of economic, but it just seems like now things are gone quicker than
they're gone
before.
much quickly.
Yeah.
Much quicker.
Yeah.
That wasn't right. Much
more
quickly.
More quickly.
Yeah, more quickly.
Yeah.
She's an English major. I'm not. So there's... Yeah, so sorry to jump ahead on that with what's new.
I think that was perfect.
Okay, so there's my sew along. We'll have more info on it on the closer to the end of July.
Yes, and I also want to mention that Fat Quarter Shop is also doing a sew along with Favorite Things that starts tomorrow, July 11th. It is a mystery Christmas wall hanging called the Evergreen Sew Along, and Chelsi and I both have the pattern already, right?
Yeah, we're doing it. Yeah.
We're doing it, and I'm actually going to start working on my blocks this week. So,
did you get your Haunted Halloween one quilted?
I did,
because I need to hurry and finish mine we can share them both.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that was another fun. So I do like when Fat Quarter Shop does those mini sew-alongs because they don't take a lot of time.
They don't,
and it's a good way to test out fabric combinations.
And we ended up doing the same for Bountiful Blooms as we did. And you didn't use Halloween, did you? You used kitty corn?
I used kitty corn.
Yeah, I got my kitty corn out and I'm thinking, Mom's using kitty corn too, but it's okay.
Yeah. Oh, well, and that's another thing. The Bountiful charity sew along with Fat Quarter Shop has just, it's not actually concluded.
Not concluded yet.
But July, the first Friday in July, I think,
is the piecing the whole thing.
Yes, so that was just last Friday from when this airs. Yeah. So
the backing,
and then there's another.
There's
the
another
first Friday
part.
in August will be the backing.
Yes, will be the backing. So
right.
that one's
coming along.
Yeah, coming along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually have mine finished, and a friend of mine came over and saw it, and she fell in love with it, and she wanted to make one with the same fabric, so I gave her some of my Bountiful Blooms sample yardage so she could make one.
Well, what I love you saying that about Fat Quarter Shop is my home is smaller than yours, and there's one hallway where I can hang a quilt. There's already like the stuff for it. And they make like the perfect sizes for me to be able to hang something in that spot.
Yeah.
Which is super nice. So that's always great when it's a smaller size and it's something I can whip up quicker.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think that's it for kind of all the what's new and what's coming up soon. And we are just really excited to see lots and lots of favorite things start showing up in our feeds and emails, right?
Yeah.
Did you share the quilt on the table too? I can't remember. Okay. All right.
Oh, but what I didn't mention is if you're looking, Billy is going to show the pictures, obviously, but you can find these patterns also in the description. We'll have them linked.
Yes.
As well. So Magnolia and beachfront makes me want to go to the beach, but I don't know if we'll make it this summer. We'll see.
I know I don't know if we'll make it either. We usually go every summer during my birthday week. We usually go to the beach, but
I was going to ask you.
We're going to go to Park City instead. So, yeah. Try the cool mountains instead of the cool beach.
I was going to ask where you were going for your birthday this year.
So we're going to go to Park City.
Switching it up a little bit.
Switching it up. Yeah.
Well, my daughter, my second oldest, brought up Dana Point because she knows she's turning 10 next year.
Right.
And she is like, well, Grandma and Grandpa, I think are going to take me to Dana Point for my birthday. And Ashton was like, yeah, I've been there. And still has loved that trip. So that's surprising you're not going to go. But Park City is beautiful and has great shopping.
Yeah.
Actually.
And restaurants.
And restaurants.
Yeah. Well, and this was my reasoning. If it's really hot in August, we could still run down to California in August or September.
Yeah.
But Park City, I'm not a skier, so I want to go there in the summer.
Yes.
So, yeah.
My husband's trying to avoid the beach, and he wants to go on a trip to Houston this fall.
That would be nice.
It would be nice.
Yeah.
But then I might be to Houston twice this year.
Oh, to see a baseball game.
Yeah, to see a baseball game. So we'll see. We'll see.
All right. Okay. Well, I will jump into the listener quilts now. And the first one here has to do with the summer stroll quilts. So I will pop these pictures up. And this is from Sarah. And she said, I finished making matching quilts for me and my 94-year-old Grams. She was thrilled and loved the pattern so much. I used Corey Yoder's fabric, mostly Canning Day, but supplemented Bella Solids and selected Sunny Side Up fabrics. And a lot of people make your quilt patterns with
Corey's fabrics.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I think there's
quite a bit.
Interchange there.
Sunny Side Up. That is a collection I loved.
And I loved seeing the two summer stroll quilts together. That I really like that pattern, and I really love her version. So as soon as she sent me that, I
all
messaged her back. I said, "Can we share this on the podcast?"
So she continues. I also discovered that making a scrappy binding with 1.5-inch strips is a lot of work, but the results were so beautiful. My Grams had me put it on her bed right away. I love snuggling under it at night, knowing my Grams is under a matching blanket at the same time. She said, apologize for the pictures. It was so bright outside. I think it turned out pretty good, though.
I thought the pictures were lovely.
Yeah. And she'd already done the first wash, so the pattern is a little bit washed out. But yeah, I think they look great. So she finishes by saying, I love making this quilt so much. It was my first quilt with such tiny pieces, and it was obvious how much I had improved by the end of this second quilt top. I do collect your patterns and fabrics, both you and Chelsi, so I hope to make more beautiful projects with either or both of them in the future. And she says, love from Canada. And again, that's from Sarah. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I think that's the place where she has the, Billy will pop the picture up, but there's a fence and she has the two quilts on there. And there's just this lush green, beautiful trees. And
doesn't that make you so happy?
Yeah, it looks so beautiful.
When I see pictures like that with a quilt in it, I'm like, that is perfection.
Yeah. I feel like I need a picket fence in my backyard just to take quilt photos,
We'll go set one up.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Okay, so the next thing I don't have a picture, but it's an email I'm going to read, and it's a follow-up from the 2 episodes ago now when this comes out with the whole socks, barefoot, shoes topic we brought up. And then, like I mentioned last episode, that we were recording when that had only been out for a day. So there's obviously been a lot more feedback that came in on that particular episode and the following one. And again, I don't have results. I would probably still say socks were the most popular, but there were some comments, like I mentioned. There was a follow-up, actually. Remember when I said someone got shocked?
Yeah.
And I noticed on the comments, she she came on again and said, no, it wasn't static. It was from the cord.
What?
So it was potentially a dangerous
real
thing.
shock.
Yeah. Yeah. And then that goes along with this email. And then I think we can, we don't want to like scare everybody, but at the same time, I think it's I'll read this email and bring up just something that everyone can keep in mind for safety when you are quilting.
Oh my goodness.
So she says, I thought I would tell you about my experience with sewing bare feet. I always close my cutter. Well, one day, apparently I didn't. And by cutter, I'm guessing rotary blade, correct?
Right.
Okay. One day, the cutter fell off my sewing machine and hit my big toe. I also take a blood thinner. I didn't feel any pain and didn't want to use any of my fabric to stop the bleeding, so I walked into the bathroom to get a towel. I called my son-in-law, as it was my daughter's first day of teaching a music class at college, so didn't want to call her. My son-in-law came and we got another towel and wrapped it and went to the emergency room. I ended with 8 stitches in and around my toe, so do not sew barefoot. Even my 2 daughters commuted, Mom, you always close your rotary cutter. Or, they let her know that.
They commented that.
Yeah. Oh, I misread that. That's from Sandy. She says, P.S. Love all your videos, patterns, etc. You, Chelsea, and Billy are great. So thank you for that. But I wanted to say, so there obviously is
lethal weapon.
Yes.
We talked about it. We said
Yeah.
that is the one thing about being barefoot or even socks is that you do lose some protection with like either pins around the floor, something like that. I mean, and she said, I always close my rotary cutter.
Right.
Yeah.
But we're all human. We all make mistakes.
Yeah.
It's just that one time that you don't.
That it happens.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
So something to keep in mind. And I mean, I remember early on when we were doing videos for YouTube, and I know my mom closes her rotary cutter very consistently as well, but maybe, I don't know, sometimes you're a little nervous because you're doing the video and you want to make sure everything's going good so you don't have to recut it. So a couple times my mom forgot to shut her rotary cutter, and man, even back then, before we had as many subscribers as we do now, we would know.
We got the comments
Yeah.
when I would forget.
Comments.
Yes.
If my mom didn't close that rotary cutter, then we were going to hear about it. But I mean, it's true. And I think so many people have experienced accidents with it or know somebody who has, that it is a good thing to keep reminding everyone.
Yeah.
Some people like wear those gloves even.
They do.
To protect their hands.
Yes.
It's insane.
Yeah. So there are, I've seen people that don't have their rotary cutter in their hand unless they have those gloves on because they've had an injury.
An accident before.
Yeah.
So it's
Holy
definitely
cow.
something to keep bringing up or reminding people. Is
Yeah.
that there are safety concerns that you need to be aware of when quilting and sewing, right?
Yeah. And in fact, that is something I learned from Kimberly that first time I filmed with her. I remember her telling me, make sure you make a point of closing this every time.
So she probably experienced something early
the
on.
emails,
Right.
yeah,
And
the
she said,
messages.
or I'll get messages. So she said, that's one thing you have to do. Like, she was like kind of lining me out before I filmed my first video. And she said, you've got to not only close the rotary cutter, but make an action out of it so that people know it's closed.
Yeah.
So it's very clear that you closed it.
Yeah.
huh?
You're like,
Yes.
it's closed.
Yes.
Okay, and then the last thing, this will be the last time I bring this up for the year, but as you can see, I have another new shirt. And so 2 episodes ago, I mentioned, okay, the Golden Knights are in the Stanley Cup playoffs. I had a shirt on. Last episode, I wore that jersey, as I explained, for good luck, and it ended up being very good luck.
Oh, yeah.
They end up winning that game that night,
Yeah.
9-3. The guy's jersey, who I was wearing,
Mark Stone,
the captain, he had a hat trick. He had 3 goals. It was just like a big party in T-Mobile Arena in Vegas because the game wasn't ever really close. So I decided I'll cap it off this 3-episode run here with my last piece of Golden Knights gear, and this is the championship shirt that I picked up yesterday.
Yeah, it was funny during that game. I texted Billy and I said, wow, that was some pretty good karma for you to wear the Mark Stone jersey while we were recording because
That's crazy.
hat trick.
Yeah, he
This
at the
is
game.
what's so kind of cool. My daughter attended a basketball camp last week from when we're filming this. And the woman running it, she's the head coach of the women's UNLV Lady Rebels team. And on Jersey Day, they had dress up days. She wore the Golden Knights jersey instead of a basketball jersey. Instead, she wore a Golden Knights one. And I thought that was kind of cool.
Oh, fun.
I'm like, she's a basketball coach. She could have chosen any jersey she had, but she chose the hockey jersey at the basketball camp. It was funny.
Well, the city was pretty
Excited
Yes.
for the last couple of weeks since they won it all. So
Yeah.
it's been fun. And there were some people that also commented, congrats, because I did pop it up on the screen. Like they did win.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I got a few emails too.
Oh,
so-
did you? Yeah. Okay, if I'm
People
involved,
support you.
if I'm involved in any podcast, doesn't matter if it's your quilting podcast or mine, or somehow sports is probably going to pop up. I can't contain myself.
Yeah. And one of the emails was actually from a San Jose Sharks fan, and she still congratulated us.
Oh,
so
that's
I
nice.
thought that was
So
very
nice.
nice.
That is nice.
Yeah.
That's good.
See, we can
People can
work
have
together.
sportsmanship.
Yes.
People can have sportsmanship even in these days.
Yes.
So, okay, well, that's enough of that, and why don't we jump into the first topic today? And we've previously have discussed this topic. I wanted to take a different angle at it this time, and that is giving quilts as gifts. So we had talked about it, but I wanted to ask you guys a little bit about, obviously quilts make good gifts. They also make good gifts for special occasions. So you've mentioned baby quilts. People give quilts away for weddings. It could be anniversary for, grandparents or parents, 50-year anniversary, 75, whatever it might be. I know, or an anniversary of some other sort. So there's all these different special occasions, but I was thinking, sometimes you might want to do it as a surprise, right? Birthday or wedding or something. So I wanted to know if you had any tactics about how you've gone about figuring out how to make that perfect quilt for someone or a couple without letting them know. You know what I mean?
Letting them know that you're doing it.
Finding the right colors, finding the right size, things like that. And then there's a couple other things we can talk about as well. But how have you gone about doing that in the past?
It's such a good question because that is a difficult part of it. If you take the time to make a quilt and give it as a gift, you want them to love it. You don't want it to not be their color so that it just gets put in a closet and not used. So sometimes you have to be a little bit sneaky. And I've reached out to people's friends and family members to find out what colors they like. Or just, if it's someone that you're in their home,
That's what I do.
You can check out their home and how they have it decorated.
Does that make us a weirdo?
like kind of do some little stalking there, right?
Hashtag stalking. Okay, this is so funny that you brought that up.
Investigating.
Investigate. Oh,
I like
let's use
that
that
better.
word.
Billy,
Yes.
we're going to get comments. You weirdos.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
no, that is so funny you bring it up. I just have to comment really quick because I had an experience. So when I read this topic, I was kind of laughing. I had bought some fabrics when one of my nephews was born, and I didn't get around to making the quilt for him. My brother-in-law brought me home fabric from Africa, and I still have it, and I have never used it, and it's really, really cool fabrics. And I thought, no, this needs to be in his home. And so I kind of paired some fabrics with his when their first son was born, and he was in the NICU and didn't get to come home for a really long time. Well, life, and they just had a second baby, and I had found those fabrics. I was cleaning out the closet, and I thought, no, I need to just make this quilt, and the brothers can share it, whatever. And we went to their house for Father's Day and had dinner with them and my father-in-law. And my sister-in-law was showing me the boys' bedrooms. The exact colors that I had picked out was the color on the wall and one of the chairs and in the crib. And I thought, I have to finish the quilt.
Yes, now you do.
So I would say part investigating, but mostly luck that I did it, found the right fabrics. And it was she was like, the room's not complete yet. And I'm like,
oh, you wait.
It's gonna be complete when you get the quilt. So I've actually written it down. I need to finish that. It was really cool though. So investigating,
Yeah.
But then there's other things like one of my best friends, I've been wanting to make her a quilt forever and surprise her. And I feel like because we're so close, I just know what she likes, but also because she's the person that I share everything with before the world knows about a new collection.
Right.
And because she loves me. She cares about what I care about. And she will be really honest with me. Oh, this is something I really love this print, or I really love this color. And so I've always made mental notes. I think about people oh, they might like this. Or I have a friend who's is obsessed with Christmas and loves our quilt. She found our, and she didn't even know that we did this.
Oh,
And Hema.
Oh,
and and she was like, oh my goodness, this is a whole different world. And I've always thought to myself, I got to make Hema a Christmas quilt because she is that person that has 7 Christmas trees in her house. You're walking through a forest. So I don't know, different tells about different people, I guess.
Yeah. I feel like you sound like me. There are so many people that when I realize what they might like, I just think, oh, I want to make them a quilt. I want to make them,
yes,
you
get so excited about it.
Yeah. So, and I love, and I've actually, there's a couple people that I need to make baby quilts for. And I've actually looked at their Instagrams and they've shown pictures of their kids. And I thought, oh, you know what? They're not this was actually kind of made me feel better because they were showing pictures of all different colors with their babies. So I thought, you know what? Anything I make, they're going to like because they're posting their child in a variety of. So now, because I think sometimes you need to get over that hangover or hangover that hang up that it has to be perfect, right?
Yes. So you worry about it because and I think this also stems from there's so much time and effort put into a quilt. You really, really, really want them to love it, right? And it does. They'll love it anyways because they'll know how much time you. But have you ever been on the Instagram page of the mom that their kid only wears neutrals, and you're like, whoa, I gotta get ivory, an all ivory quilt, you know? But no, you do. You look on Instagram and you can kind of see.
Yeah, and I think I did with this one that I'm thinking of making soon. I did feel better that, hey, you know what? I think she's going to like whatever I make. So
yeah, it's a good feeling.
Yeah. And I liked Billy had the question. Have you already read this question about quilt labels for gifts?
No,
I'm jumping ahead.
No, it's okay.
But I don't know. I'm terrible at quilt labels.
I saw that. Guys, I don't do
because
quilt labels.
I asked that question because do you want them to know where it came from? Essentially, do you put a date and from your name, or do you not like doing that for gifts?
Can I be honest? I wouldn't want to label I don't know. No, I guess I'll reword that. I don't want my name on somebody else's quilt that I gave them if it's not. Is that weird of me?
They have those little labels that just say handmade especially for you.
Ooh, I love that.
I like putting those on and...
See, I love that. I don't want my name on somebody else's quilt.
So some people might want your name on it. And
for history reason. The one reason I am sentimental about labels is my great grandma passed away and she's the one who taught you how to quilt, and my baby quilt from her is labeled. The things I have from her are the pink one with the little duck on it and whatever.
Grandma was good about labels.
Grandma was good about it. And so I'm like, oh, my great grandma made this for me.
Right.
It's kind of how when she would gift me a book or all of our books, they'll say Billy, 1995.
Yeah, from grandma.
From grandma, Winnie the Pooh. She would do that all the time. And sometimes some of these childhood books we had are so good that the siblings will call each other out. Well, Grandma wrote my name in that book, and it's my book.
Yes.
Billy actually just called us all recently about a book he couldn't find, and we were like, we didn't take it. Like,
Yeah.
Well, no, because I was asked if I had it, and so I
okay.
wasn't really looking for it. But anyway, no, that brings up a point. Is okay. So you're talking about making a quilt for your brother-in-law.
Yeah.
So
well,
obviously,
his kids.
Okay, they'll know. Okay, Aunt Chelsea made it for me. But what
Yeah.
about grandkids down the line? And there's a quilt sitting there, and they're like, okay, what quilt is this, and whose
That's
was it,
true.
and who made this? So there might be.
And if they donated it or threw it out, I'd be so sad.
Yeah, several generations
Right.
down the road, that's where a label
Yeah.
would come in like, okay, my great Aunt Chelsea made this for my grandpa or whatever,
Yeah.
know?
Like, I still have both purple quilts you made me. The one lasted me for years, and when we moved into the new house, she needed to make me a full-sized bed one. The other was a twin. And my kids use that all the time.
Yeah. I think I gave you that red, white, and blue one that was king size. Didn't I?
Okay, so here's the deal. I was obsessed with having quilts on the bed after I started this journey. Actually, I was obsessed with having quilts regardless, because we each had a quilt. Mom gives me the most awesome, dusty looking fabrics, like very almost like Minnick & Simpson vibe, very cool. And a king size, because I'm like, when am I going to find the time
To make a
king size and get it quilted? Like, sometimes I picture Marian's face if I were to give her a king size quilt, and she'd be like, Chelsea, no, please, like, don't do this to me. But no, I do have that one as well. If you're ever missing a quilt, dun. I might have it.
Well, I've been donating a lot, and I've been trying to.
I need to
like
donate
the last
some
time
now.
I did some donations, I actually put all the quilts on the railing and took a picture, and I actually sent it to Candace, and I said, before I donate, are there
Yeah.
any of these that you want? And it was funny because she actually picked one for her youngest little girl, and it was perfect because then I was like, okay, I'll give that one to you, and I'll
Yeah.
donate the rest.
I actually need to, I need to
Yeah.
contact, I have some quilts I need to donate now.
Yeah.
So what about, and that was the last, unless there's anything else you want to say about labels, but I was wondering if you guys had a few of like the most meaningful ones that you have made as gifts, and maybe, you don't have to name names or anything if you don't want to, but is there anything that has stuck out to you as like you were really, it just meant a lot to you to give something as a gift?
Yeah, I have a few. Well, I have 3. I'll be really quick with each of them, but
I'm still in that process. So
okay. Yeah, one, I don't know why, it was someone that I didn't even really know that well, and I just like felt like she needed a quilt and took her a quilt, and it was kind of awkward. You just show up at someone's door.
Hi.
Hi, like, I just wanted to give this to you. I know you're going through a hard time. And then I didn't hear anything literally for like 8 months. And then
Whoa.
I got the nicest thank you letter. And so I've always remembered that.
yeah.
Yeah, and she actually said, like, I really needed that quilt. And
Yeah.
another really memorable one was donating a quilt to a friend who was going through a cancer diagnosis, and just knowing that would, and I actually gave one to her and one to her mom, and it just felt good, and good news. She's doing great.
She's doing great. That's what I've heard.
Yes, it's been like amazing. But I think the best one.
I think I know which one it is.
So we have a little neighbor that
It is.
went through a really terrifying experience, and she's the same age as my oldest granddaughter. And the day that I heard about it, I was I have to take a quilt over there, but the family was at the hospital. So anyway, I ended up taking it to a sister-in-law and just got the sweetest phone call from the mom. The daughter was still in the hospital. And she's like, I know it's for my daughter, but I've been hanging on to this quilt. And it was just so heartwarming. But the icing on the cake is that just a couple months ago, we had an abundance of apricots this year. And we really couldn't deal with all of the apricots. And so
An abundance of apricots.
we started getting people asking, can we have some of your, yes, please come take all that you want. And anyway, our neighbor called, and he actually called my husband and said, hey, would you mind if we have some apricots? And Bill was like, no, come get all that you want. Well,
Yeah.
a couple days later, the doorbell rang, and it was actually the little neighbor girl and her friend.
Yeah.
And she said, hey, can we pick some apricots off your tree? And
Yeah.
I said, yes, and I said, do you need a bag? Nope, we brought the bags already. And anyway, but kind of as she was passing over to the tree and I was getting ready to go back in the house, she goes, I love the quilt you made me. And I was
Oh my
just
gosh.
like, I just wanted to cry.
I'm going to
because-
cry right now.
Yeah, because,
The little oh my goodness.
I just thought it was so sweet. And that quilt that I gave her was with our Sincerely
Yours.
fabric. And I just figured it would be cute for a little girl that
Yeah.
age. And anyway,
Oh my
those
goodness.
those are my most meaningful.
As she skips along to pick apricots from your tree.
And just
That's
kind
so
of
good. Yeah.
she just I thought it was so sweet.
Oh my
So,
goodness.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
So for you, the most meaningful ones have come from people that need it. Like,
Yeah,
they're
they
going through a
going
tough
Going
time.
through a tough time.
Those
Yeah.
are the ones that have meant
Yeah.
the most to you.
That's what I think. Yeah.
Interesting. Have you made any quilts for anyone's wedding or anniversaries? Didn't you? I know you and your aunt made one for grandma, right?
Yeah, that was a pretty memorable. My great aunt Joanne.
I remember this.
Yes, so my grandmother was actually.
Was it her birthday that you did it for?
Well, no. So I guess it came about. One of my grandmother's sisters was having a 50th wedding anniversary. And so her other sister kind of spearheaded making a family quilt for this sister. And we all did these blocks. And then my great aunt contacted me and she said, your grandma's not going to have a 50th wedding anniversary because, my grandmother was married twice and divorced the first time. And the second time her husband passed away before they could have a 50th wedding anniversary. But she said, I would like to still make a quilt for your all the other sisters have gotten these 50th anniversary quilts that your grandmother kind of spearheaded. We should make one for her. And would you help me? And it was really fun because I got to work with my great aunt and she designed the pattern, which was 9 patches and snowballs. And the snowball blocks gave opportunity for people to embroider their names So, and I actually did the shopping with an aunt to pick out the colors, and that was really, really a fun quilt. And there was a lot of embroidery on that, and my great aunt quilted it and gifted it to my grandmother, and she really, really loved that quilt. And I actually have that quilt now, so
Yeah.
that was a really great quilt to get when my grandmother passed away because I
Yeah.
had made all of the blocks for
Yeah.
that quilt and then sent them out to have embroidery.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so that was
Oh, meaningful. And
yeah. So that was really, really fun to work on that and to have that quilt. In fact, my mom asked me, we were talking about something the other day and she said, I wonder where that quilt is. And I said, oh, I have it. So my mom said, oh, good. I'm glad you have
Oh
it.
my goodness. I love it.
Yeah, I said, I did too much work on that, not to
Yeah.
Make sure it stays
make
in
sure it
good
stayed
hands there.
in good hands. Yes.
Good. All right. Well, anything else you guys want to mention about that? I think you covered everything we were planning on talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Good.
It's good.
All right. So the next thing here to wrap up the podcast is we're halfway through the year here, a little more than
Yeah.
halfway through the year. So
Well, we're taping this at the end of June, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's airing July 10th, but
yeah.
We're taping it beforehand.
I'm pretending like it's July 10th right
okay.
now. So yeah, how's your 2023 going so far? Just a quick mid-year
Yeah.
review. I don't know if you reviewed some of the goals that you had talked about at the beginning of the year, and maybe just sort of update the listeners on how you're doing halfway through the year.
Yeah. I feel like with this, I'm going to go first just because I know
Yeah.
I want to say something I think will make Chelsea feel better. Sometimes it's better to focus on what you did get done rather than what you didn't get done.
Thank you.
And
I
sometimes
needed to hear that
Yes, I
with
thought-
what I wrote down.
Yes, because sometimes, if you do go back and look at those goals, you think, oh, I haven't done very much. So sometimes it's better just to look at what you did get done. And I try to make a practice of doing that on a weekly, monthly
Positive
basis.
thinking.
Yeah. So, and Chelsea and I both had illnesses the first 6 months of the year. Mine wasn't as bad as hers. I was sick in February for about a week.
You were.
But Chelsea had the kidney stone thing, but so we both had that and got through it, right?
This is so funny because of what I wrote down.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this. But what I wrote down was, we really did do all of the quilt pattern writing for 2 collections in the first 6 months of this year. Bountiful Blooms and a new collection that we'll be sharing very soon.
While simultaneously doing other huge projects.
Things. Right. So we really, that's a lot. And we both did a lot of sewing and just the designing, and one fabric collection was designed too by you during this time too. Yeah, one. Yeah.
One. I had one submitted last November though, so it feels fresh.
Right. Yeah. So we were also able to go to the Beach Cities Quilt Guild together.
Yeah.
That worked really well. I got a lot of reading done, which that was a goal I had in January to kind of up my reading, and I really feel good about that. In fact, I finished 3 books in the past 10 days that were all really good. So we also had a photo shoot in May for this new collection we'll be sharing soon. Actually,
like in
a week,
4 days.
Like in a week from today, Or
4 days.
Friday. Oh, that's right. Check out YouTube this Friday.
The 14th, July 14th.
Friday, July 14th. You
Guys,
can see
it's
the new
insane.
fabric. But that photo shoot took a lot of time.
It was a lot of prep.
Yeah.
And that was insane. I actually just spoke to our photographer and I had told her, I said, this was because she has young kids.
Right.
So for her to work it out, for us to work it out, we were staging the house. We were making lemonade.
Moving furniture.
I just gave a little hint towards something, but it's okay. We're sharing on Friday.
You sure did.
Yeah. Anyways, we were staging this whole room. And then I told her, I said, that evening was the night I got the attack from the kidney stones and ended up in the hospital. And she was like, no way. That's crazy.
Yeah, because you were the picture of health.
It was, yes, I was.
morning.
I'm like sitting there just like smiling. And then that night I'm like, so.
Yeah. And I mean, you were climbing up and, I have that one picture. We'll have to pop. Well, we can't pop it up till the next podcast.
I have cute pictures of mom staging the room too that I didn't tell you about.
Oh, really?
Yes!
Oh, no. But I have the one you're standing on the couch adjusting the quilt. And you would never think that night you would be calling and saying the incredible pain that you were in.
Yeah.
So, that photo shoot took a lot of work, a lot of sewing from strike-offs to get some things ready, and flowers and photographer and the lemonade. So
Mom,
sorry.
She is hinting at this.
So okay,
you guys actually do get the scoop from YouTube because we cannot contain ourselves when we have a new fabric line coming out. I can't believe we're highlighting that.
So other than that, I'll finish really quick and then you can.
Okay, sorry.
So I did a few works in progress that I've been that's really felt good to get some of those things done. And then I also did just really recently, I challenged myself to a 10-day sewing challenge, and it enabled me to make progress on a quilt that I hadn't made progress on for a while. So that's my 6-month review. I'm giving myself a lot of grace. And
grace is the new word, y'all.
Yeah. And one of my favorite, she's like the only, she has a planning podcast, and she talks a lot about planners and goals. And anyway, she just revised her whole summer goal list because she realized, hey, what I did was too much. And it's my list. I have the right to totally
change it.
Throw that list in the garbage and make a new, more relaxed summer goal list.
Yeah.
Do that for yourself.
I love that because I was just telling a friend, lately, there has been changes in our household, and my oldest is going to middle school, and this week she left for a week-long camp in the mountains without me, and I have been like beside myself,
Right.
and she is fine with it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, no, I want to spend time with you before you are grown up and gone.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
it's been crazy.
Yeah, because in 10 years, she's going to be 21.
She's going to be 21. And then she was like, wow, you had me when you were 20. And I'm like, no. Like,
She'll be driving in 5 years, just so you know. Okay.
No,
So what
there's-
did you want to...
okay.
Yeah.
So when Billy sent the topic over, I saw the first topic I saw and kind of chuckled and was excited about. And then I saw topic 2 and I internally groaned. I thought this happens way too often, way too soon. And they always want to know what my goals are and where I'm at in life. And I'm a hot mess and I can't get it together. And then I had this thought, be really, really honest and write down the first 3 things you can think of. And I did it. I did not sugarcoat. I did not pretend I was doing things that I'm not. So the first thing I wrote down, and hopefully I'm able to inspire someone, is trials and hiccups was kind of the first 6 months of this year. And it felt like every single time I had set a goal or I was going to do something, something happened. That was crazy. And I kind of got to thinking about it after I had written these down last night, and I was kind of pondering what I had written down. And I realized that that's okay, because we're all going to have times in our lives where it doesn't go as planned. But guess what? Some really, really beautiful things happened because of these things that came up.
Yes.
And there was beauty that came from things that I felt were a storm. And it helps me really, really grow, and it helped me look at my business completely different. And I think that is probably one of the most positive things that has happened to me this year.
Yeah.
So there's number 1. The next one was just, okay, this has been my last 6 months. How do we move forward? And where's my attitude and where's my headspace at moving forward with all this? And I've been very kind to myself and very gentle. And there's obviously changes in our family with my kids growing, and it's okay. I can honestly say I'm really excited about this new collection that we're sharing this week. And I have done a lot of work in the first half of the year to where we're done with these quilts.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a lot of excitement around the fact that the next collection that we designed and turned in, we won't be getting fabric for that till probably November or October. Well, no.
End of the year.
End of the year.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of like, I have a lot of time to actually plan quilts for that now. A lot more time than I had with some of these other collections because we were designing them at the same time.
Right.
And so I think moving forward, I'm excited creatively is where I'm at with that. And then just my number 3.
I love that. Just, yeah. Because I thought about the same thing too. I feel like the second 6 months of the year will be a little bit more relaxed.
Yeah.
At least until the holidays get
Yeah.
here. But
we have one big project, but it's going to be fun. I'm
Right.
really excited about it. And then the last thing I just thought of was Mom gifted me another packet of the top 3 things that I like because they're...
the little pad.
Yeah, the little pad.
Yes.
And I have been just at it with that.
Good.
And it's been really, really great. I've eliminated a lot of... My daughter was gone for a week at this basketball camp, and my husband was the one driving her in every day because after that, Mom knows my parents drove her in one day, and it's
a long day.
A long day of basketball.
Do you know what I realized? We could have driven to Rexburg, Idaho.
Yes.
In the amount of time that took.
Yeah.
One way. Yeah.
It was
from
a
here.
whole-
It was 11 hours.
It was a whole day.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the time you drive in, then the camp was 6 hours, and then the time you drive home.
Yeah.
My husband called me one day. He was like, what am I going to do today?
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I'm at home sewing and getting my life organized and back together. Thank you. Love you. So,
Yeah.
but Mom had given me another packet of that, and I'm just going to focus on top 3. I love that you brought up how you take ownership of your list. You are allowed to change it at any moment, and you don't have to feel guilty about not getting something done on your list that you thought you were going to get done. So I've been keeping it simple, and I'm feeling good. And I'm going home today to sew because, yeah. But yeah, those are my 3, and hopefully that inspires some people for the next 6 months of your year. Be kind to yourself, guys.
Yes.
Just FYI.
Yeah, and I haven't done any dog crate mats.
Yes.
Okay, here's the thing, though.
But you've been busy too.
You've been busy, too.
But I'm not giving up. I mean,
I'm not giving up on your dog with the dog bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about,
or
right?
a video with Chelsi.
Or a video with us.
Yeah.
Because I mean that's even more than the dog bed. I really want to make one of those little mats for his crate.
Yeah.
You know, especially I know it's middle of the summer right now, but by the end of the year, so he has something.
When it gets cooler.
Yeah, when it gets cooler.
But this is what's so funny is I had a bunch of triangles and I had to start a new bin. And I thought of you.
Oh, so you have been saving
I've
them.
been saving
That's
them.
good.
I
good.
need to just put them in a bag. So,
Yeah.
yeah. One of these days, Billy. One of these days.
Yeah, we'll get it done. I'm never too stressed about stuff like that. So,
Well, this has been a wonderful episode. And as we mentioned earlier, you'll need to look out on Friday here on YouTube for a fun video sharing the new fabric collection. Friday, July 14th is our official share date. And so on that day, we will be sharing the fabric. And then after that, we will begin sharing quilts and patterns and all the fun
exciting.
things. Yes. So be sure to stay tuned this Friday for that video.
It's a special collection, guys. There's some extra stuff.
It's beautiful. It's everything. You're just going to want to be here on Friday, right? Okay. And our next episode will air on Monday, July 24th. Also, really quick, there are 5 Mondays this month, so we'll be having a listener question episode on the 31st.
Questions.
Please send in those questions. We have just a few, right? So we need more.
I have some.
Oh, you have some too.
Yes,
Good. Oh,
I'm
good.
so excited. People have been emailing me more, and on
good.
Etsy, people have been messaging me.
Oh, good.
Oh,
Forward
okay.
them to Billy.
I'm
Yeah.
horrible at compiling them.
Yeah.
send them
They're
over.
there.
Okay. Yes.
In whatever way you want to do it, I'll compile them for you.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for stopping by.